Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the elect of the nation of Israel. This is your brother Ayash Kabar from the GMS Virginia camp coming at you with another short lesson that I pray that you find edifying. The book of Job, chapter 40 and verse 7. Gird up thy loins now like a man. I will demand of thee and declare thou unto me. The point is, gird up thy loins like a man. Because now we're entering into the times where you're going to have to be a man. You're going to have to step up. And you're going to have to put off that weak nature. Because with everything that's going on in the world, it's going to take men, specifically the men of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, that's going to prevail. The elect, and Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, however about this out, I'm one of those men, but it's going to take a man, to get through these times. That's why the scriptures say, gird up thy loins now like a man, because back in the olden days, what we used to do is grab the bottom of our garments and bring them up in between our legs and tuck it in our belts, or into our belts that was wrapped around our loins, so that way in battle the bottom of your garment didn't get in the way of your footwork, and that's what the Lord is saying. We're not in a time of peace. We've always been in a time of war. And that's what this war has done. This war has actually made it so that you actually think that you're in a time of peace, when in fact, this devil has been warring against you from the very beginning. He's never stopped warring against you. He's just made it such that he made it seem as though he's not warring against you. He made it seem as though he's on your side, which is a very skillful tactic. Have your enemy think that you're with him, so that way he drops his guard, and that way he's able to do whatever he wants to do with you or to you. So now is the time to gird thy loins like a man, because the truth is out there. With everything that's going on in the world today, as far as what this devil is doing to the people, and what this devil has done to the people, and what this devil plans on doing, I might have said that already, but what this devil is planning on doing is just straight evil. It's wicked, and we have no ways of getting through it except through Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So the Lord requires you to put off that weak nature. Gird yourself like a man. Be prepared to deal with whatever it is that you're about to deal with, because knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy time. So knowing knowing who's in control of everything, you know that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is in control of whatever happens to you. So knowing that first, knowing that you have no control over the situation, is the first step in girding yourself like a man. Get your mind right. Get your spirit right. Because very soon, there's about to be a famine. This devil has been destroying food processing plants for at least a couple of years now. Destroying crops for at least a couple of years now. Destroying the people forever. Drugging the people for at least a couple of years now with this C19, and he's not just going to stop there. This devil is causing a financial collapse that he's creating. This devil is creating wars against the people, wars against the other nation, wars of the worlds. This devil is responsible for creating all types of chaos and mayhem. And yet, you Jakes are on this kick of doing videos on TikTok where you dancing towards some bullshit song that means nothing. You know, it really irritates the fuck out of me when I watch a video to get information. Of course, you scroll through either YouTube or TikTok, whatever, and there's this one fucking video of a Jake doing a fucking and I'm not even talking about a young Jake. I'm talking about an older Jake, a Jake with grays, doing a bullshit dance. What the fuck? Do you not understand what time that we're in? Do you not understand that these times are deadly serious? So by you not preparing your mind and your spirit for what's coming, you are going to fall into a category where you're not going to be able to know what to do. You're not going to know what to do. You're not going to know where to go and what to do and how to act. You're basically going to fall in line to whatever this devil has you to do. Here it is in a few months, the MOTB is about to get kicked off. Well, here it is, this devil's, let me rephrase that. Here it is, this devil's talking about the MOTB now more than ever, and it's going to ramp up even more over time. Here it is, they're talking about the Fed now, and these CDBCs and all this monetary digital units that's going to replace the dollar, and you Jakes are in your folly doing bullshit, going to the clubs and going to the parties and doing all types of adulterous and abominable shit, but you cannot discern the sign of the times. You Jakes are totally destroyed. The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High? Be not deceived. You see, a lot of you Jakes are deceived. A lot of you Jakes think that you can do all this abominable bullshit, and then 3 seconds before you're about to die or during the time of your death, oh God, please forgive me of my sins, and you're forgiven. What? Are you crazy? So a lot of you Jakes are going to do this abominable bullshit up until the bitter end. Your bitter end. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High? Be not deceived. And a lot of you Jakes are deceived by the information that these harlot houses has taught you, by what your nana and what your mama taught you, about how whatever it is that they taught you is just, about the Lord, is just bullshit. And they have deceived you. And let alone you've deceived yourself into thinking that whatever it is that you think about the Lord is true. When in fact, the Lord's preparing to kick your ass. The Lord is ready to fuck up a lot of Jakes. The Lord is preparing a sword for a lot of you Jakes. And a lot of you Jakes are not man enough to deal with what's coming. You did the crime. Now it's time to do the time. You did the crime. And what's even crazy is you're doing the crime in your captivity. Because a lot of you Jakes think you're free. Okay, you think you're free, but you're still committing all types of abominations before the eyes of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Well, guess what? You're going to have to pay the price. You're going to have to pay the piper. And through that, it's with judgment. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord said the same must know it after death by pain. Death by pain. A lot of you people are deceived in thinking that the Lord is some soft power. No. The scriptures clearly say the Lord is a man of war. The Lord will not at all acquit the wicked. That's for Esau, of course, but that also applies to you 2/3 Jake. And you men are totally lost in the source. You you have no knowledge of who the Lord is because you're deceived. Neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind. And that's what you jakes have succumbed to. Not all of you, a lot of you. You know? You got some jakes that don't go towards this effeminate bullshit. You know? But a lot of you jakes are strictly effeminate. So in that day of trouble, a lot of you jakes are just going to crumble. You're going to cringe, you know what I'm saying? You're going to ball up in a fucking fetal position, not knowing what to do, where to go, how to act, and where to turn. You know? You're going to pray to a God that can't do shit for you. So now is the time to get your shit right. Get your spirit right. You know, get right. Because it's about to get ugly out in this piece. Jacob's trouble is here. It ain't full blown, but it's here. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 30 and verse 6. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Ask yourself, does a man travail as if he's having a baby? That's painful. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail? These men are going to turn into bitches. These men are going to turn even more effeminate than what the fuck they are. Not all of them. Most of them are going to bend the fucking knee. As a woman with travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Now is the time to get right. Now is the time to get your spirit right. Now is the time to seek Yahweh Hashem Yahushua while he may still be found. So that way you could be hid in that time of trouble. You're being warned. The Lord's hand is still stretched out still. As long as his prophets are still out there on the highways and byways, that's the Lord telling you, I'm still reaching out to you. Get it while you can. Turn back. But a lot of you jakes are caught up in your ways. You know? You're caught up in this effeminate spirit where quite honestly, a lot of you jakes are just as comfortable as fucking women. You seek to have the same comfortability as a lot of these fucking women. You don't know what it's like to be a man. You don't know what it's like, to deal with manly shit. Yeah, okay, you know what I'm saying? We go to work, we pay our bills, we do what we got to do, we get our place, we take care of our family. But you've never really been to war. You know what I'm saying? Most jakes haven't been to war. Most jakes don't even know how to defend themselves. That's why the scriptures say, Job chapter 40 and 7, gird up thy loins like a man. Get your shit right. Put off that weak nature. Because what's coming in the world, a weak nature will not be a prerequisite. The prerequisite is repentance for the nation of Israel. A prerequisite is turning back unto the Lord. A prerequisite is getting into the scriptures, getting as much information as you possibly can through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Because when this shit start popping off, what the Lord say? Although they seek me early, they shall not find me. What? So if you don't get this now, before the shit pop off, a lot of men are just going to be the fuck out there. And if the men are out there, just out there, with no direction, with no hope, imagine what the women are going to be like. The book of Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, such that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. That's you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Here it is. You got Jace coming up from Mexico into Babylon the Great. Some for judgment and some for salvation. Because a large part of the salvation of the nation of Israel, or a large part of the salvation of the elect, is going to happen right here in Babylon the Great. When those missiles are being launched, the burn is placed to the fucking ground. But you, Jakes, don't believe that. You don't see that. Here it is. This fucking economy is about to collapse. This devil's talking more and more about the CDBC. He's talking more and more about Fed now. He's talking more and more about, unrest and all this other stuff, World War. He's talking more and more about these things, and at no time in human history has the information and the things of the world taken place at the same time, such that it is now. And yet, you people cannot discern the signs of the sky. You cannot discern the sign of the times. You have no idea what time you're in. And if you don't get in that manly man. Now, don't get me wrong. We're in the flesh. There's gonna be some things that might spook us. But at the end of the day, it's through the faith and spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua that the elect's gonna be all right. But we know these things. We're trying to tell you these things. And you Jakes just ain't listening. It's about to get bad. The book of Joel, chapter 1 and verse 15. Alas, for that day. Salah. Alas, for the day of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is at hand. Judgment, bros. Judgment. This ain't no joke. This is real. This is real. And believe it or not, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is going to start with those who know that they're Israelites. He's going to start with those men. He's going to start with those men who, man, it's about to get ugly. And as a destruction from the Almighty, it shall come. Although it tarry, wait for it, for it shall surely come. But we know these things, and we try to warn you of these things. Here it is. I was talking to the Jake at work. Saying it might have been a woman. Well, it was a woman, but I didn't expect anything at all, But, I'm having an idle conversation with this woman, and a lot of women are on this eminence bullshit. This the minimalist net. Well, shit, I'll just say it. This feminist bullshit. And the sad thing and the fucked up thing about it all is men are on that same shit. A lot of fucking weak men are on this same shit. A lot of these men have fell into that feminist bullshit. Not knowing that, they've been duped. They've been taught wrong. It's going to require men to deal with what's coming. It's going to require a special spirit that Yahweh Bashem Yahushua will put on his elect to deal with this bullshit. Because the time that's coming, bros, it's going to be, we already know. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly. But what you're going to see is a bunch of effeminate men. Effeminate men are going to be destroyed during these times. And that's what I'm going to entitle this video. Destruction of the effeminate men. Because at some point during this, the men are going to realize Fuck that. I gotta do what I gotta do to, whatever. And if you're one of those weak men, trust me, a strong man will sort that shit out and see right through that. And now you're done. You know? Because the only way you can rob a man's house is if you bind up the strong man. That's the only way you'll be able to take his goods is if you bind the strong man. And so when these troops and these militias or whatever, or your neighbor starts ripping through your shit, and these women are looking at their husbands are like, protect me, and husbands are standing behind these fucking women and using their women as human shields. That's what it's going to turn into. That's what it's going to turn into. And it's going to be ugly for them. It's going to be ugly for a lot of people. And what we're witnessing is the destruction of the effeminate man. We're witnessing the fall of the weak nature. So I pray that you find this lesson edifying. And until the next lesson, Yahba Shem Yahweh Shai Hararatazah. Shalom.